Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. We eat sandwiches and play games. Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. A podcast for everyone's day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Taste of Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast that all you guests listen to. And this week, we're having a nice Valentine's Day episode with some special people.
Ooh.
So we're going to get into their and our brains and figure out what makes them click. And as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Joe.
And that's right, podcast listeners at home, we have some special guests here. You may know them as the favored forgetful few, the backlog besties. Please welcome to the show from the I Forgot I Owned That podcast, Bianca and Trent.
Woo! Hello.
Greetings.
Thanks for having us.
No, thanks for being here. It's pretty great. It's a Valentine's Day episode. We got some couples on here.
Yeah, we're coupling up the couples. In,
yeah.
You know what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
in the
we
good
got
way.
it.
Yeah, in the podcast way. Yeah.
Long-time listeners of the podcast may have noticed that neither Hassel or Lewis are on the podcast, and that's not because they're not a couple. That's they're not a couple with each other.
With each other, yes.
they are their own separate couples, but they were busy this week, so
Indeed.
they will be on future episodes.
Indeed.
You know, not that I don't think they would make a great couple, though, because they're adorable.
They would make it.
They would. I think they'd be fine with that.
Right? It'd be pretty cute.
Adorbs. But thank you two so much for being on here. You guys are also awesome Twitch streamers with your Witcher Wednesdays, and you guys have a band that you all rock through with some good indie pop music. And we're just so happy to have you all.
Thank you.
We're very excited to be here.
Yeah. I appreciate that you lumped me into the Twitch streamer part because that's big time not my thing. But yeah, you're welcome for the excellent Twitch content, apparently.
All Twitch content is excellent Twitch content because you are actually spending time to do it. So, hey, it's good.
I truly enjoyed all the Kingdom Hearts Saturdays that I was editing.
That's right.
And then she'd
Hell
be
yeah.
playing Kingdom Hearts, and I'd be very excited because I never really played any of those. So it was fun to watch. It was very fun. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Witcher Wednesdays? Come on, Witcher Wednesdays.
Classic.
Still going strong?
It's Thronebreaker right now. Then The Witcher will be done.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P.
That's right. That's the last. That's the standalone Gwent, right?
I'm just saying.
Basically.
No, it's
No?
not. No.
Kinda.
But
I mean, basically.
But there's always Gwent.
There's
you
always
can play
Gwent.
Gwent forever.
That's true.
And I would be supportive of that.
Yeah.
In fact, if you needed someone to play Gwent with,
Ooh.
Amanda's the
Love
one.
me some Gwent.
Gwent
Yeah, no,
forever.
Wednesday's going to turn into my RPG thing, so I'm going to move Dragon Age Origins over there.
Woo.
It could be Wednesdays.
Oh no. Oh gosh. Well, thanks for being on the podcast. I see you have to leave now after that. It's
I
been fun.
apologize.
Scared him off, Brian.
I
Damn it.
apologize for nothing, I mean. But y'all, let's get into our question this week. In honor of our guests, on their podcast, they always start with a question. And so I, too, would like to ask that. What is the most goodest, best thing to happen to you this week? I paraphrased it. I don't think that's the exact question. But it's
That's
close.
okay.
I can start. Normally we talk about video game stuff on the podcast, but I did something non-video game related that I'm actually really proud of. It's kind of boring, so I'm going to start us off with that. I installed a closet door in our house. We had an old closet door, and I got rid of it, and I hung a new closet door. And I hated it. It was a terrible, terrible thing to do. But it is my goodest, bestest thing because it's done now.
It looks very
and
nice.
It
That's a fair
looks
point.
very nice.
It does, actually. I'm
does.
looking at it now.
Yeah, see?
It's got some like nice foggy windows. So like when you close the door, it's like, what's in the laundry room? I don't know. It's a little mysterious.
Who's to
Yes,
say?
yes.
Yeah.
We love
Now I
a
can
good
get home from
adulting
jogging. Yeah.
thing.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Now I can get home from jogging and put my jogging clothes directly into the washing machine without having to worry about like people looking through the window and being
Yeah.
like, is she naked in her own house? And me being like, it's my house, I can be naked here. And then like, but
allowed.
also maybe not. I don't know. So now I have a door.
You want your house to have a good level of privacy.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's important. I may one up you in
What?
really exciting things that happened over the past week or two.
All right.
With mine, which is we got our taxes done.
Is this just the week of adult stuff from everybody right now?
I think it is.
That's very good.
No, look, I'm super jazzed. Man and I, we get real serious when it comes to the taxes.
We do.
We didn't realize. Look, yes, taxes are boring. Taxes are like, it's that time of year. But Man and I have decided to like reclaim tax day or the tax season and like make it our own. And it happened a couple years ago, I think during pandemic, where we weren't doing anything. We weren't even like meeting together for podcasts.
We hadn't left the house in like 3 months.
And then like taxes came out, the tax season came around, and we were like, like a reason to like go see our tax person, a reason to leave the house. And without even telling each other, I think we just like were getting ready and, you know, got our masks or whatever. And then we like walked into the living room and I was dressed nice. I put on some good clothes. And then I saw Amanda come out of the other room and she also was looking fine. And we were like, what is happening? And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, yep, this is it. This is how we are you know, doing our tax season, our tax day. And we went and we got our taxes done. And the lady there is just so nice. She's a school teacher and we've been meeting with her for like 3 years now. And when we're there, it feels less like we're doing taxes and more like we're catching up with our aunt who's cool.
I love that.
Yeah, like your aunt who like really listens and saves you some money.
Yeah.
So we did that about a week or so ago. Got a nice fat return. High five.
Hell yeah.
For overpaying the government during the year.
You almost slapped your wife straight in the forehead.
Yeah, I
Joey,
went
I'm
for the
just
high
saying.
five, but I didn't want to
sitting very
commit to
close.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
very
so
close.
close. I realized I was going in too strong for the high
You
five,
were.
and I reeled it back.
You also know how I feel about high five.
You got a lot of high five anxiety.
I do.
Do you all have high five anxiety by any chance?
I'm gonna say no. Is
Yeah,
that
Okay. It's just
explain
a
your
thing.
high five
concerned
anxiety real quick.
Okay. Like someone goes to give you a high five, and then the first feeling you feel is, oh no, please don't do this. And I get it that they're excited and they want to share their excitement with me, but all I can think of is like, I'm just really bad at high fives. Like I don't know, I just don't have a good high five form. And I get it. People have tried to teach me to high five before, and I'm just bad at it. So they'll go to give me a high five, and then I know I'm anxious about the high five,
Are you
and then I
afraid
know
of-
that in the moment
Yeah.
they realize that I'm anxious about the high five, so we both like share. And then by the time the high five happens, it's always terrible, which only feeds into my anxiety about high fives.
It's like, am I going to miss? Is it going to be a clasp? Is it just a quick one? It's like, what?
Some people do things after high fives too, like they
yeah,
kind
that's
of like
true.
make it complicated, and like, how am I supposed to know? And I think the best part about this is we will be out, and then someone will try to give me a high five, and then I'll see Troy out of the corner of my eye, and he'll be like, "I'm sorry, babe."
I want to
don't
like
know.
come in like slow motion action movie and like dive in front of the high five and like high five that person for her. Sometimes, other times I'm just too far away.
I think it was today. I saw a supercut of people leaving Ariana Grande high and dry when she goes for high fives.
It's like a thing.
It's a thing that people always leave her high and dry. When she was finally on the Tonight Show, she went for one, and Jimmy Fallon finally gave her one. She's like, "That's the first one somebody has ever reciprocated." And there's just a supercut of like at least 10 to 15 people just
leaving her
high
and dry.
high and dry.
Yeah, you're in good company, Amanda.
Oh,
You're in good
no,
company.
I will always give you a high five. I will just hate it.
I feel like we've turned into like fist bumpers.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Fist bump is slower. It's a slower
Yeah.
engagement. You like kind of
Yeah.
put it out there and you just kind of wait. Where a high five is like coming at you and you got to get ready
Sure.
to reciprocate.
And there's no questions about the trajectory of a fist bump. They only go one
Right.
way. High five, you got a hand in the air, and oh man, that bad boy could go anywhere.
right, anywhere. And then people get disappointed if there isn't like a noise.
like a good
And
bump.
at the fist
God,
bump,
yeah.
you're just like, no matter what happens.
But
Oh, if there's
there's
a
a
noise,
noise
in
with
a
a
fist
fist
bump,
bump.
that's wrong. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, taxes. go get them
Nailed
done.
Love it.
Nailed it.
Amazing.
For me, at my job, I work at a middle school, and we had testing this week. And I'm in charge of all of our computer equipment for said testing. And it went off without a hitch. And I am very happy
Very
about
good.
that.
Hell yeah, looking competent at your job.
Right? Right? Just fooling them for the last 6 months.
Got him.
But yeah, so everything went off. I was really stressful about it because it's the first testing season I've been through. It's the new job and everything. And yeah, everything was cool. So I'm
Awesome.
highly down with that.
Hey, congrats, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ours is a joint one.
We have a joint one.
That's fine.
Okay.
Cool.
Do you want to?
It's a meaty boy.
God, why would you call it that?
So, we received a very interesting phone call from my sister last week, who is a little bit older than us. And more specifically, the phone call was from her husband, which is more unusual. And we answer the video phone.
The video phone?
That's definitely what they call those. And it was the two of them. And we're like, well, this seems suspicious. And we were informed that my sister is going to have a baby. And therefore, I'm going to be uncle. And Bianca is informally going to be aunt.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to make of that at the moment at all. That felt like a very real adult thing, or I should say a very fake adult thing that shouldn't happen to me, but it did. And yeah, we're still processing it. But yeah,
that
it's
moment
cool.
when you're like, I'm an uncle. I'm gonna be an uncle. That's a real thing that is happening. I can put that as part of my identity.
Yep.
Yeah. I spent the whole night after that conversation being the blinking man gif.
Yes.
Like where he
That was literally him. And like he's just like, where are they going to put the baby? Isn't their house like kind of small? Like, what are they going to do with a baby in their house? Like, and I'm just like, you don't have to worry about any of that.
Well, you being the blinking guy does make a lot of sense because they did drop a giant bomb on you.
Oh yeah.
This is true.
That's valid.
Giant bomb.
Yeah.
That's where that blinking guy is from. We found out.
Yes.
I have absolutely no idea, but I believe you.
Bringing you that meme history over here.
That's right. Well, that's amazing. Well, congrats.
Now you just got to convince them to name the kid after you. That's the next step. That's like
I don't think
Uncle
I
Plus.
want that.
Trent doesn't like his name, so
It's got
I
too
don't
many
think he wants
consonants.
anyone to be named after him.
It's too many
I'm
consonants.
sorry.
The vowel to consonant ratio is all the way off.
It is a lot of consonants.
I appreciate your name. I actually used to use the name Trent as an alias for myself when I was like a teenager, when I thought it'd be cool. Like early internet, like, no, I can't let people know my real identity. I was like, I have a great idea. Instead of Troy, I'll go by Trent, and no one will
Interesting.
know. Got him. They're not.
You didn't want to just go by Roy?
I know. So many other options. So many. William would have been a better option. Bob would have been great. But
I
no,
like that you said
Trent.
William because
No.
that is my middle name.
Oh,
Everything's coming up me right now.
That's amazing.
William is actually, in my family, the firstborn son is named William.
Whoa.
So
Just like always?
So my brother's name is William. My father's name is William. My grandfather's name is William. My great grandfather's name is William.
What a legacy.
And my brother's son is named William. So
Goodness.
Gosh.
so that is, you know what? That's off of my shoulders. I don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah. And good thing there's always a boy, I guess, in the family.
Oh yeah. Oh, the men always carry through in our family.
If you guys have a girl, you have to name her
Yeah,
William.
it has to.
Yeah.
Tradition.
I think my brother was going to. If it was a girl, I think it was going to be like a middle name, or it was going to be some sort of like something along those
No,
lines. yeah.
100%. Go for
William.
William. Yeah.
Their middle name's always different, though. That's the thing that changes.
Okay.
So it's not juniors and the thirds and esquires.
Gotcha.
Oh, but Esquire would be so cool.
It would, wouldn't it? Thank you guys for sharing. And then Joe.
My best thing I think that happened to me this week was the Nintendo Direct was happening right when I was supposed to be getting out of work, and I decided I was going to stay late at work that day. And so as I had realized it was 2 minutes after 5, and I was like, oh man, I'm missing part of the Nintendo Direct. My boss walked by, and I was like, oh no, my boss is going to realize that I'm leaving this on. And he was like, oh, that's cool. I got to get home and watch that. And I was like, this is the best.
The dream.
Awesome.
Perfect. Hey, thank you two for letting us steal one of your segments for our podcast.
Heck yeah.
Our pleasure.
If you all enjoyed that at home, that is literally something that one of our favorite parts of your podcast is hearing about your week. So thank you for honoring us and letting us jive with that.
Yeah, of
course.
And steal that
course.
question.
Hey,
Freeing me up
we're
from
gonna
having to come up
trademark
with one.
that before long. Better watch
There you
yourself.
go. There you go.
Well, too late. You've already said that it was before the trademark. We're good.
Look at him. Look at him.
But now that brings us to our first little segment. We got a little questions and we got some stuff because we want to find out about you guys and we also want to find out about us.
Yeah.
So our first thing that I want to talk about is when or how did you discover that your partner was into video games? And we mean like into video games.
Do you know your answer?
Oh, I think I do.
We got to hear it.
That was terrifying.
That was some primo cackling.
It was.
Well,
I suppose. Would you like me to answer the question first then?
I
Yeah,
would.
go for it.
Yes.
you cackle.
After the cackle, how do we go back?
So I have two things I would like to report. The first thing, which I think is interesting, is not directly an answer to the question, but is related. So when we first started dating, a short while after that, we got, I don't know, lunch or dinner or something with my dad. And
This was my first time meeting his
yes,
dad.
yeah, first time meeting my father. And then we dropped you off on campus for some, I don't know where we were going because I lived around the corner from you, but it didn't matter. And my dad is like, she seems nice. I didn't really get it until she started talking about video games. And then I was like, oh, I see it now.
Oh.
Which I find kind of weird. Because, like, of all the things, we also, like, did theater and dance when we were younger.
Right.
And those were, like, more prevalent in our life at the time. So I don't know why he picked that particular thing out. But
Yeah.
whatever, more power to him. So the actual answer to the question, I think I got it around the time I learned that she tried to play, I'm trying to remember what game it was. I think it was The Witcher. If it wasn't The Witcher, it was something similar. On her garbage, like, tablet laptop with like 128 megabytes of RAM, and she would like genuinely play games on that, and I don't understand how it didn't catch on fire.
I managed.
If you are that committed to gaming that you're gonna run it off of that, then you know they're into games.
Exactly.
That is why I built my PC in the first place, was specifically to play The Witcher.
Nice.
Because I owned it and I couldn't play it. And so I was like, I need a computer that can run this.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm not convinced it was The Witcher, but it was something similarly you should not have run on a Garbo,
Yes.
like $280 tablet laptop.
Oh, it was more than that, but yeah.
Well, didn't you also try to run, I think, like Saints Row, like the third or something like that?
I have run. I
think
did
that was it.
play Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 4 on that.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
was definitely
gosh.
it. Because it was like something open
Like
world.
played through pretty much the whole entire campaign of both of those games on that.
Oh my
on
gosh.
That thing.
I'm sure it ran
Yeah, I
at
don't
like
know how your
15
iPod
frames
didn't
a
just
second.
melt.
Wow, that's awesome. For me, it was just I think we've gone over this story before on the podcast, but it was Jaws on the NES. First of all, it was just because she had a top loader to begin with, which is an NES, but you actually put the cartridges in on the top.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Brian, for explaining that.
You're
I was not
welcome.
going to say anything and just
How
nod
do you
like I understood.
What is the other way to put a
So
cartridge?
normally you put them in on the side. So you put
It's
them
a slot.
in, you have to like click it down, and you have the normal looking NES.
For an NES?
I've never. Well, I wasn't a Nintendo. I was
Yeah.
a Sega person, so I was a top loader.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
It's a Genesis. It's basically the Nintendo's version of a Genesis.
Okay,
you,
great.
You always top load it. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what it was. So I saw that she had that, and I was like, I've never seen one of those before. Like I know what it was, I just never saw one in person. I was like, well, that's really cool. And then I saw that she owned Jaws for the NES, and I was just like, I love that game. I loved that game when I was young, and I was like, all right, let's let me pop this bad boy out. And then Joe thought I was lying. She thought I was making fun of her for having Jaws. And I was like, no, I genuinely love this game. And then we like put it in. She didn't believe me still until I put it in, and I was pretty good at the game. And then we ended up beating the game together. And it was a beautiful time
Nice.
of finding out.
This magic
Wow.
moment
Yeah.
when the monster shark devours the swimmer.
Not to date yourselves, but what year was this?
For when
This
we
was
started
probably
dating.
12 years.
Yeah, this was 12 years ago. Yeah, 12 years ago.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so there was definitely some substantial effort put to keeping that NES then.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Oh, it
That
still
was-
works.
It still works now. It's one of my prized possessions.
Amazing.
I don't know about you, but I
Yeah.
think for me, it was the day after we met. No, well, okay, unique. Troy and I knew each other for four years,
Yeah.
3 years before we started dating.
Yeah.
The day after we met,
Okay.
we were at a convention and we went into the ye old convention video game room.
Oh,
The-
yeah.
the balls and sweat.
Yeah.
I was
video
going to say
game
the
room.
funk room.
Yeah.
That memory, I can smell that memory vividly.
And Guitar Hero was really big. This was like the zenith of Guitar Hero, not like a Guitar Hero now, which is like sad and in the corner. No, they had like a stage and lights Guitar Hero, and then we were all friends, so we were like, well, let's go play Guitar Hero. And then
Yeah.
Troy was like, yeah, I guess I can. I guess I suppose I could. And he's like, like all the buttons and up and down. So
I'm
for
out here
me, that
using
was
my
super-
pinky finger
Yeah.
to play.
Ooh.
That's how you know.
Using both
yeah.
of those
Yeah.
buttons that I pretend aren't there.
I think Manda, for me, like Manda said, we were friends before we started dating, and within that friendship time, I knew you were into games because I think I borrowed that DS game, Legends of Zelda, the Spirit Tracks,
Phantom Hourglass?
Phantom Hourglass,
Yeah,
one
you-
of those two. Yeah,
The one you never gave back?
I totally gave it back
Well, technically, he gave it back to you guys when you were married.
one
Oh,
day.
yeah. When he moved all of his stuff into my house.
Boom, it's yours again.
Is this yours? So I knew you were into games, but when I knew you were like into games was kind of that middle time when, like, before we started officially dating, when like the interest like was percolating between us, but it wasn't sure like is this a thing or not. And I was hanging out. She lived with two other friends of ours, so I was just hanging out at their apartment. And I think you started explaining Fable 3 to me. And you went deep. You told me the whole Fable, like, lore from Fable 1, 2, the chickens. You brought me up to freaking speed.
I told you all the fables of the fables.
The fable of the fable. And I remember you know what? That was probably when I was like, yeah, this is probably going to be a thing.
I don't know if we'll get along. And then in Fable 3. And I pushed up my glasses and you were like, actually.
Wow.
I'm trying to think. I think for me, there's a couple things that come to mind. One being, so we also were friends for, I don't know, a year and a half or so before we started dating. So in the friendship part of our relationship, I had learned that you were a big fan of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Which I also was a big fan of, but not nearly to the I had not played it as much as Trent had. And I happened to have the first game's like score on CD, and
Nice.
you legitimately like wanted the files of that.
Yeah, I definitely.
So
Back when I still like had MP3s for things.
yeah. So there was that moment, and then related, but later on, probably like a year later, is I had just like mentioned that I was like, I hadn't beaten Kingdom Hearts 2 yet because I was stuck at the Demix fight.
Yep.
Classic. And half of it is like I was just being dumb and not strategizing well at all. Like I like hardly had any abilities equipped. I was really being dumb about it. So that was part of my problem. But we just spent an evening at my apartment, and Trent was just like coaching me through this fight because he knows that the first and second games really well, and he coached me through the second game so hard when I was streaming it like a couple months ago. Like he was coaching me. So yeah, he was just like getting, finally, after however many tries, I finally like beat Demix, and Trent just tackles me in a bear hug because he's so happy. So that's like, oh, he knows he can like coach me through multiple boss fights. Okay, let's go.
To work, team. Hit the showers.
I love that. I love it.
That's so great. I think, Joe, you always knew I like games.
There was not a.
I don't think there was ever a time because
No.
I think because when we were just friends, I think you knew.
We also were friends for a long time before we
Yeah.
started dating. So it was just always part of the lexicon of things we would talk about. I mean, I didn't know you were really good at first-person shooters for a long time.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think we had been dating for a while, and one of our friends was like, "Hey, Brian, you play insert name of game called Counter-Strike that has a cool name."
It's Counter-Strike?
But it has cool letters or something. And I was like, "What is that?" And you're like, "Counter-Strike." And I was like, "What's Counter-Strike?" And then like finding out that he was like nationally ranked and was like, not nationally,
He was no
world
joke.
ranked
Whoa.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And like hearing how then explaining how like some people would change their settings on their computer so that it would only be pixels so they get headshots faster. And I was like, oh.
That's how deep this goes.
Okay, like I like video games a lot, but like, I don't like to play with other people unless it's Pac-Man. I don't know about this. It was a very eye-opening moment because I was like, oh, well, that is I'm never gonna play a first-person shooter with him. All right,
Done. Great. And then that leads us into our next question, which is, what game have you actually played with your partner for the longest amount of time?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, what about it actually made you stick together and actually play it for so long?
Okay.
You know?
Troy, you made these questions, and still
yeah,
I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah, because we could have different answers. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, we could have agreed on this beforehand.
Nah, that's...
I mean, I have an idea of what I think you and I spent the most time playing together.
Yeah, I just don't have like the data in front of me. I know we've played a bunch of stuff together, though.
Oh, we don't need data. What is this?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the data I know, which is my feelings.
Exactly. It goes from the gut, the heart.
All right.
Hard hitting.
Lay it on me.
I think Destiny 2 is the game that we played the most
yes.
of.
Okay. Monster
Together.
Hunter's
I was gonna say
really up
Monster
there, but
Hunter.
Destiny,
I would've went there.
We played a lot
Yeah.
of Destiny 2. I think I didn't think about that because Destiny 2 broke my heart, and I try not to think about it.
I
But
know.
yeah.
We didn't end on good terms.
We did
And,
not.
and Monster Hunter we played a lot of intensely for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
but Destiny was
like-
an ongoing like year and a half where we're just continuing to come back for more expansions, or if people joined and we wanted to play with them.
If they didn't have change how comp work, we'd still be playing Destiny 2.
It's true.
We really enjoyed that. It was perfect for us because we could
Yeah.
hop on after dinner and just like
puzzle.
play for a few
Yeah.
hours, and the story was interesting and the aesthetics were great.
And it had like the dailies and weeklies, so we were incentivized to kind of pop in and play and put in that time together.
And we both had different play styles that worked well together. So it was-
Yeah. I think it worked because I remember there was one time where you and I were playing together, and during one of the expansions where there was a whole new land, and it was just the two of us. We had other friends that played, but they couldn't that day or something. And then you and I did like a mission that opened up a whole new world that we weren't expecting.
Oh, yeah.
And that we weren't spoiled about. And we ended up going to this like planet. And you and I were just like in awe, exploring every nook and cranny, and like we stayed up like extra long that day or that night, just together trying to figure out this new world. And I think that's one of the reasons we both kind of get into that awe of exploration together.
Yeah. We like the new stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. Trent and Bianca, do you have one?
I can think of 2 games that we've probably spent the most amount of time on, but I don't know which one we've spent the most out of those
Well,
2.
give us them both.
Yeah.
Diablo 3
Yeah.
and Stardew Valley.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was the second one?
Stardew Valley.
Nice.
That is co-op. I keep forgetting it.
Yeah, and Stardew
Very
Valley
similar games.
there was just kind of a point in our lives in which that's what we played, and then we've since abandoned it. Diablo 3 we never finished.
No, that's partly because I had Diablo 3 on PlayStation 3 of all places.
Okay.
Back in college, and we didn't play it in college. But moral of the story is, I have 2 controllers. One died, and then we tried to replace it with another one, but finding DualShock 3s is impossible.
Oh, yeah.
And the one that we got, that one of the analog sticks is all goofy, and it causes you to dodge roll randomly in various directions when you play Diablo.
We call that fun. Put it on fun mode.
So that was the main reason we stopped.
Yeah.
Because we just haven't been able to find another controller.
Yeah. But
You just need to get a controller with better RNG. That's what you guys need.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Hell, didn't they port that over to Switch at this point? We could just buy it on there.
we could
Yes,
buy
they
it,
did.
we could
So,
actually
yeah.
play it. But I guess.
Yeah, but can you play it on like a really old iPad? That's the question.
But then I guess the other thing too is just that we don't play games together. We
Not
don't
that
do
often,
co-op
no.
games, really.
Fair?
Yeah.
fine.
I
I
don't
don't know if you want
There's
to
nothing
talk
wrong with
more to
that.
I think part of it, part of it is because we don't have two PCs. So a lot
Yeah.
of games
Yeah.
that benefit two-person like kind of co-op stuff, I feel like tend to be PC games. Otherwise, it's just like kind of couchy, like whatever. Like we played through most of Overcooked, for example, like that kind of stuff on Switch.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the
game.
stuff we would really dive into a lot ends up being PC, which we can't do because we only have one.
Yeah.
And then compounded by pandemic, our socialization time is essentially gaming with our respective friends. So that leaves less time for us to game jointly.
But also, we spend all of our time with each other anyway. So do we
Yes.
really want to spend more time sitting on the couch playing games with each other?
Yeah.
That's a fair point. That's a
Yeah.
fair point.
It's a very fair point.
Man, keeping it real out here. I love it.
Joe, do you know ours?
To be entirely honest, we don't, aside from streaming together and maybe Animal Crossing.
We do the same thing. We don't really
play games together. However,
Yeah.
for us, it's because we have two entirely different
taste.
tastes in games.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Like I cannot play some of the games he plays. There's like so much thought, and I hate saying it like that, but there's just so much thought that goes into every little step you're taking, and you have to use a keyboard. And I'm like, I want to just make Dr. Mario kill viruses, man. Like I can't think this much.
Want to make the shapes.
I
damn
think
it.
okay.
Or I want to throw a controller.
Yeah,
It's like one of the
that's
two
true.
things. I want to play Dark Souls. I want to play Neo. I want to throw some stuff and break it. Or I just want to chill out.
Yeah, I think our longest one though, I think might be Overcooked 1 and 2.
Yeah, probably Overcooked.
Because
played
we
that
did
a lot
complete those
together
games
for fun.
Yeah, we did all the stars.
That's
on
more than
those.
Min and I made it.
Yeah.
We made it through game
Hey,
one,
we
I think.
finished the first
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
yeah.
We do okay.
Damn. Just saying, this is fun.
So yeah, we did do that. So I think it might be Overcooked. We did do
Overcooked.
that.
That sounds right. I mean,
Because that game does go into your making you want to throw controllers. So it did lean into that.
that's fair. That's fair.
At Brian, probably.
That's
sometimes.
also possible. That's a possibility.
This segment brought to you by Overcooked, the one game that we all mentioned.
We did. That's true.
It's a good co-op game.
It's a great
is.
co-op
It's a very subtle commercial
Yeah.
for Overcooked.
I mean, if you guys want to sponsor us, it could be not so subtle as well. I mean,
Yeah.
hey.
I wouldn't mind that, you know.
And then finally, or at least my final question is: so there's couples in gaming, right? You have your Tifas and Clouds or whatever, or everything.
Wow, I like that you didn't give the other options at all. It's like
No.
this is the one.
That's the only one that exists in my brain. Joe. I know what you're talking about.
I know what Brian's fan fiction's about.
Hey.
There's Nathan Drake and whoever he's married to. I don't know.
Whoa, Elena is
Elena.
so cool.
Elena, holy
Whoa.
crap!
I am terrible
Brian.
with names, y'all. It's not-
My favorite
Nice.
video game
it's
couple.
no knock against Elena. I'm just terrible with names.
At least you didn't say like the blonde one.
Thank goodness for that.
He remembered the guy's name. That's all I'm saying.
I did.
Right,
Hey.
you
Right?
know.
Gosh, Brian, goodness.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that. But so you have all these couples in gamings, like fictional ones. What ones do you think actually work really well, and why? And I mentioned a couple of them. So but do you guys have other couples that do you think like, hey, this actually does work in this context in the game? Like they actually work really well together.
Wait, I have a clarification question.
Yes.
Do
go for
you
it.
mean like they are written in a believable way, or that the couple is a good and healthy couple?
It could be either or. Hopefully, preferably both. But they don't have to
True,
be.
true.
That's fair.
It is video
That's fair.
games.
Yeah.
There are two old people in the
Aw.
King's Quest series.
Yeah,
and
elderly.
They both run a magic shop, and then like time passes, and then they both run a joke shop, and they are my relationship goals. Because they are both like 111 years old, and they really enjoy each other's company, and they both have really dumb jokes, and they don't really like they have like their own little world that they live in, and it's perfect. And it's perfect. I don't
That's
even think they
amazing.
have names.
Yeah,
Right?
They kind of remind me of the couple from The Princess Bride, where they're like, "Hey,
Yes, but if they liked each other.
but healthy.
Yeah. But that's definitely how they look and the way they act. But it's instead of them being like, I hate you, why are we still married? It's all just like, man, I'm really glad you're here.
Yeah, just kooky
Very
and
cute.
nice.
Very cute.
That's amazing. For myself, actually, I'm going to go with an unseen couple, and it's the couple from Unpacking. This is a game that just came out.
That was really great.
This is a game that you
great
don't
answer.
actually even see any story. You just build it off of what you are literally unpacking in the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
there's
cute,
a
yeah.
beautiful like story that goes on with it, where like she initially gets out of college and she moves in with a guy, but when you move in with them, like there's like no space for any of your stuff. And it was just like all the things that you had set up before, like you had your own drawing nook, you had all this other stuff. You had to just put it in drawers because that's all you had space for. And then you break up with him, you move back home, and then you get into a relationship with another woman. And I thought it was amazing. And then you get to the next one is where they're moving into a bigger house and they're actually able to like space out. And then I think they're adopting a kid as well.
You're like seeing their relationship evolve through their moving, their living spaces. It's a phenomenal, like well told, well paced story. I agree. That's a great choice, Brian.
Yeah, especially because they both she always takes this one stuffed animal with her.
Yeah.
And then when you move in your girlfriend, she also has these stuffed animals that she has with her. And it was so adorable. I loved it.
I kind of to jump off of that, Brian. So when I was thinking of this question, and I took the train of thought of like well-written, kind of believable relationships. And the only ones I could think of were queer relationships. Because what straight relationships in video games aren't like action movies? You know what I mean?
Wolfenstein. Gosh,
So
that couple.
like for me, I was like, oh, like even I played Gone Home for our podcast whenever ago, like, and you're just learning about these teenagers in a lesbian relationship through notes and audio cassette tapes. But like, and unfortunately, it wasn't like the happiest relationship story that you've ever heard, but it was one where I was like, this is extremely well written and something that I could imagine knowing someone who could have gone through this. Like, it was just very well done.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the one of the ones that came up for me.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about the well-written relationships where you kind of get to really see it and it feels natural. For me, the first one that popped into my head was a relationship between, I believe their name is Tyler and Michael from Tell Me Why, which is a choose your own adventure game by the makers of Life is Strange. And you're right. I feel like when I was thinking about this question, I was also gravitating to a lot of queer characters, whether it was Ellie and the kind of teenage romance they had, or Chloe and Max from the other Life is Strange. And for Tyler and Michael, what I really liked about it was in the writing, because it was like the flirtation was subtle. It was nuanced. There was a lot of breathing room to like show interest without shoving the flirtation down your throat, like really going at, and it was just a very lovely approach that the game is told in multiple episodes. So, episodes 2 and 3, you get to let them have some breathing room to feel whatever they may be feeling with each other and be a little playful, and then have like a nice talk. At one point when I really realized that this is like such a well-written scene is when they actually do go out ice fishing. And they kind of discuss just not even each other and like what they're feeling, but just get to know each other a little more. I think that's something that's really rare when I think about romance in video games, whether it's Mass Effect or something like that, more of the early Mass Effects, where it's a very hard line to be like, I am definitely flirting with this person.
Right.
Romance options.
It's flirt, sex.
It's the progression.
And then you go to like the next person.
No, it's sex, and then they're no longer important.
Yeah.
You don't even talk to them anymore.
Nope.
There's no.
They say the same thing every day after that.
the late 2000s. What a time. But no, it really felt like you were getting to know someone, and you were actually asking questions because you were genuinely interested, and that was blossoming into a relationship. I was very impressed with how they handled that from a writing perspective. So yeah, that's one that stands out to me.
I like it. Yeah. Like it a lot.
I guess the one observation I had was when I was trying to think about just options for this question, I had I guess like 3 camps pretty much. There was the ones we've already talked about, the sort of romancing from your perspective kind of games, like a Mass Effect or something like that, which, Mass Effect is pretty bare bones at that. And I think like even Stardew Valley is another one that kind of operates in a similar way, is also pretty, you're just on a path and you follow it if you say the right things.
Yeah.
And then there was, I think Bianca used the like action movie romance because we were talking about this, and that I think of like Nathan Drake and Elena, yeah. Like they fall into that category. Like it's very entertaining, but it feels very Hollywood, like Indiana Jones, Steven Spielberg kind of.
Yeah, it fits in there, like in the genre of the game.
I think as far as the game goes, yes, but I think for me, they're actually one of my more favored couples in games, only because of the way the game starts. The game starts with the two of them just at home making dinner and playing Crash Bandicoot together.
Yeah,
and I really
this is
like
the fourth one.
The fourth one, yeah. Sorry. Well, I mean, we're talking about them together.
Yeah.
I've literally ruined nothing for you if you've played the third one.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I've played second and third.
Okay.
Yeah, then you know where it's going.
Yeah.
But it just opens with the two of them playing a game together, and I really liked that because I thought it was a very human way to open a action romance, silliness type of thing.
I do feel like their relationship evolves from the third game to the fourth game. I don't know if the writer changed, but they definitely give them more depth in the fourth game.
I don't want to say anything else about the game.
But yeah.
Right. They kind of get what I would call like the Last of Us treatment in the fourth game, where you get to really dive into the characters. Whereas in 1, 2, and 3, it's very action oriented. So you're not getting a lot of depth from Elena and Nathan and how they feel towards each other. You're just getting like the flavors. In the fourth game, they really they dig into all the relationships, not just theirs, but wow. And it's
him
lovely.
With Sully,
it's
everything.
Really lovely. And I do like where they take their dynamic.
That's the thing, though. I completely, and now that you've said like action movie, like romance, like I completely get what you're saying, because it's like, yeah, it is. At some points, it is kind of like it's so fantastical what's going on that it's more like you're watching a movie and it's not real. It's not like a real relationship.
I'm going to say a quirky line and then jump off a cliff.
Right.
It's just, we were flirting and now you've been kidnapped by the evil bad guy. I have to find you before the timer runs out, and then we're going to kiss, and then there's going to be credits.
How many more treasures are you going to go find, Nathan?
The treasure's right in front of you. It's me.
Wow, are you sure you haven't played the fourth game? I'm just joking. What do you guys think about Mario and Peach? Is that healthy?
No.
Quick, unanimous.
If you're asking me about maybe Peach and Bowser, I could see that more than Peach and Bowser.
I don't know about that.
Is Mario a simp?
I just want to put it out there.
Totally.
I'm a big fan of Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man. They each have their own careers.
True.
They're very good at what they do.
They've lasted a long time.
They've lasted a very long time
very
together.
Very supportive of each other.
Exactly.
They work well together.
They complement
They do.
each other.
I just want to point it out. Sometimes old arcade people, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
I love it. Was there ever a Pac-Man Jr.? Is that a thing? Am I just making that up? Is this my fan fiction?
It actually sounds right. Like, I feel like I've seen that on an arcade. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like I've seen it.
It definitely sounds believable.
I feel like
exactly.
they just wanted to focus on their
definitely
careers.
sounds. Well, thank you guys for your answers for my questions. But now, Troy, you have a little...
We actually have a bonus question.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So we were kind of thinking about some fun ways to dig into relationships and how it concerns us as gamers, and also what we think about it in games, as we've been doing. And a question came up concerning us romancing in games. So kind of piggybacking up a little what we said in the last segment. When you all are in a game which gives you the freedom of some choice and lets you have relationships with characters, when you go down this road, do you feel, being in a relationship out of game, anything weird when you're having a relationship in the game?
That's a great question.
Is there conflict? What's going on through your head?
Joe looks like she has an answer.
I do. So I'm probably the monster in the room, but I think there's only one point in life where I've ever had a moment where I thought, well, that's kind of messed up if you're in a relationship and you didn't, like do the right thing for your character. And it wasn't even me playing the game. It does nothing to me. All I ever think about is like the context of the moment for the character and what they've been through and like how they would feel in a certain way. Cause like playing Assassin's Creed, my Eivor really liked, the wife of the brother.
Oh yeah.
So like it was very hard for me to play that game because I was like, I feel awful because like she's cheating with the brother's wife and like I just don't feel good about this. But she loves her. They love each other. So no, it does nothing to me. But it did do something once. We're on a plane. We're coming back from Japan. Brian got like me something. One of those games where you're playing with your Nintendo Me person. Miitopia?
Yeah, it might be
something.
one of those. Yeah.
Sure.
One of those games. So the game takes from your DS the characters that are already Mii's in your DS and it puts them in the game.
Oh, that's right. I remember this now.
No.
And the only point in time I have ever had a feeling about anything like this was when Brian was talking to the Mii Joe that was auto-populated in his game, and he didn't want to be friends with her.
Wait a second.
He didn't want to date her.
She took it out on me. She actually turns next to me.
I turned him and was like, did you just say no to being friends to the me
to
in
my
your
avatar?
game?
I was like, I don't even know what's going on, Joe. What are you talking about?
My little me person walked over to you and was like, you're awesome. I want to be friends with you. And you were like, no. He's like, I didn't do that. I'm like, you literally just said no to her. And look at her. She's sad. She walked away. You broke her little heart. How could you do this to her?
Oh.
So like, that was the only point in time I have ever felt anything of real life. And then and after, I think it's years now, I'm still bringing it up every once in a while.
She does.
It's really funny.
Now the question is, if he had said yes, do you think there'd be any feelings of like jealousy or like weird feelings like,
No, he had like I don't remember, it was like a Tifa looking chick, and I was like, why didn't you go after that girl? That girl's awesome. What's wrong with her? Do you just not like anybody in this game? What, are they not good enough for you?
Or I guess, do you all feel any ethical quandaries when you are romancing someone like Brian, if you were like romancing another character in Miitopia, where you'd be like, oh, I feel weird because this, I don't know, like it's not Joe.
Okay. Somewhat like that, because like in The Sims, you can create anyone. So I always, not always, a lot of times when I start a new game, I create myself, and then I create Joe as another person, and I just move her in, and she lives her own life. But I try to romance her.
She better say no. She better be like, not friends.
Sometimes it doesn't always work out. And then
Go
it does
sim me,
and then it does
yeah.
feel weird because like you're gonna be walking by and then like there's a person behind you that apparently my character is really into, and it's like, this is really weird. I don't like this. I don't know about that. And that's the only game. Every other game, it's always the person inside the game is how I'm acting. It's how I'm flirting in the game. I don't feel anything.
You commit to the character.
I commit to the character because that's what's going through my brain. But yeah, The Sims, nah. I just, even when I don't create, I even tried once to not create you into the game. It still felt so supremely weird.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
So I think I made that person into a player who just never settled down.
That's kind of romantic.
So it's like your Miitopia person? Nobody's good enough?
Nobody's good
That's
enough.
how it is.
I don't normally play myself in video games, so I don't know if I've ever had like a quandary where I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm cheating on my husband with like this game. But I have played video games that have romance options that I actually really like, and then it'll just be like me by myself in the house being like, gosh, it's just like thinking about the game, about like, God, I hope he gets over that thing, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm really concerned about it. And it was like, this person isn't real, you can calm down. Like, they're gonna be fine. Like, so there's definitely like what am I doing? I'm gonna go watch TV with my husband. I shouldn't be thinking about this imaginary person in my head.
I think for me, I mean, like, I guess when it comes to The Sims, there was one save file where I made the two of us, and so that was very like, okay, here's my one thing. But anything else, like, basically, if I come into the game with some background knowledge, then I'm going to want to play it a certain way. So Witcher 3, for example, I was like, I knew I'm going for Yennefer this entire time. But when it comes to like other games, I decide for myself. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be my sexy saucy run, and I'm just gonna like bang whoever I want. I'm gonna do what I want. I don't care what he's doing in real life. Like I'm living my best life however I want.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like pretty much me. As I'm just like whatever I'm feeling, like I just go for it.
I want to jump off that briefly and point out when Bianca would play The Sims on the file where it was the two of us, she would just appear from the computer room and be like, we had a baby. And I'd be like, excuse me? We did what? What? Pass the time.
Come again?
Not the answer I was hoping for. That's a check against you.
I'll throw out for me, almost always I have no qualms with romancing characters in games, except there was one time. It was
I like how the eyebrows kind of went up for a second there. That was great. Good touch.
the first time I played Stardew Valley. So this was after Bianca had already played like 70 hours of Stardew Valley. We weren't living together at the time because this was in college. And I started a file and was like, oh, like, I don't think I'm going to romance anyone. That's just, I don't know, that doesn't seem like a thing that I would do. Like, I have no interest in that. I'm just going to be a hermit farmer and I'll grow a lot of pumpkins and it'll be great. And then I met Penny. And I was like legitimately infatuated with Penny. And I was like, is this what an emotional affair feels like? It's like, should I be guilty right now?
Hey, I understand. Penny is awesome in that game.
She's so sweet. And then, well, because at first you're like, this is cute, whatever. Like, we flirt, or it's great, whatever. And then there's like an oddly risque scene in like a pool at midnight where like something happens, wink, wink, but like it's very vague on what. And I was like, did I just have an extramarital interaction with someone?
Am I gonna have to check in with this? Am I gonna have to like you walk in, you're like, hey babe, I have to get something off my chest real quick.
It was very amusing to watch him be like, I don't think I'm gonna romance anyone in this game, and then like 3 hours into the game he's like, oh my god, like Penny is so cute, and I'm like, I know.
It's all good. It's all fun and games until you get like a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's like, don't tempt Penny for life.
Penny for her thoughts.
Penny for my thoughts. So I also commit to the character a lot. So I'm in the same page as like Joe and Amanda and you all, where it's like, no, I am Geralt. I am not myself. I am removed. I am like not operating from my own feelings. But I played a lot of dating games last year.
Oh, you
I was
did?
like just going for it. And a lot of those dating games, you don't really make a character. So you're really just kind of going off of however you feel and whatever, whichever way you want to roll. Yeah. And not that I feel like any like emotional like, oh no, I'm like really into this character, but I do remember, I think one time, Amanda, you came in and we were just kind of casual. You sat on the ottoman and we were just kind of like talking, and I was playing this game and it was all good, just going through. But then I did find myself becoming very conscious or like embarrassed to make like choices, and like, or like while I'm in there I just started like fake playing the game because I'm like, I don't know if I want you watching like me like get my flirt on with these fictional ghosts or whatever dumb game I'm playing. Like I just get real like, yeah.
She's gonna be like, oh, you chose that answer? Oh, I see.
Like,
I see how it is.
Or like, I don't want you to feel like I don't know, like this is how I feel like to you or something, or I don't know how it translates. It's like, oh, is that what you're into? I'm like, no, I don't know.
When you played Boyfriend Dungeon, there was a character in Boyfriend Dungeon that looked exactly like me. Like they had used me as a model.
It's true.
And Troy went to play Boyfriend Dungeon and he was like, well, obviously this one. And I was like, you don't have to.
Wait, it was the chick with who's the dagger, right?
Yeah, the dagger.
Oh yeah,
dagger.
she was one of my end people.
Yeah. And she's so cool.
So cool.
She likes whiskey and museum. It's just me. It's just me.
Dresses like you. Oh my gosh, it was that was I was so ready to play the field when it came to that game, and then my wife shows up, and I'm like, well, that was easy. Like I ended up with you and like one other person because they were polyamorous. I'm like, yeah, well, all right, but I was like, yeah, you're a lock. No problem. Fun question though.
Yeah, fun question there, Troy.
That was Trent. That actually.
Oh, that was Trent.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was?
Well, yeah, because Trent
think,
and I were
right?
talking about like the questions beforehand, and Trent was like, I kind of want to put in there, like, does anyone feel like morally dubious when they're like romancing other characters? And so I sent that to Troy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. You're welcome.
Well done. That was a nice brainstorming session. Well done, y'all. Well, yeah, thank you for those questions. But now, Troy, you have a nice special game for us, don't you?
All right, y'all.
Ba-na-na-na.
Dun, 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 dun,
Ba-na-na-na.
dun, 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 dun.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
I don't know why there was a saxophone all of a sudden in my version, but
Why
I
not?
like it. Yeah, hell yeah. So I thought it'd be super fun and cute. Valentine's Day is here, and we wanted to have some fun with some couples here. So I wanted to do a little couple quizinator where I previously asked questions to all of you, and I got your answers. And what's going to happen is I'm going to ask your partner what how they think you answered those questions.
So this is kind of like the newlywed game.
It's
if you know what that
it's a
is.
little like the newlywed game, but I'm like not trying to like trap you into weird, embarrassing stuff.
I don't know. A couple of those
'Cause-
questions. I don't know, man.
I mean, a little bit. But, like,
I definitely
You weren't
divulged
trying,
too much
but-
of my
Oh, hey.
answers.
for research, I went and watched a couple episodes of the Newlywed Game. Don't.
Oh, God,
the
no.
60s
Yeah.
were not the greatest.
Yeah.
For oh gosh, it was hard to watch that. So yeah, let's just dive on in. I'm gonna ask you some questions. Give me your best guesses. This is all fun. If you get it right, awesome. If you get it wrong, we learn about it. You just learn about a little thing about each other.
Yeah.
So let's start easy or a softball question here. I posed the question, what is your favorite game? I'm going to start with Manda and myself. Full disclosure, I did not get Manda's game, so I do not know how she answered.
I could lie if I want to. I'm not
you
going
could.
to for the sake of the podcast unless it's really funny.
So, Manda, what would you say is my favorite game?
Overwatch.
That is correct. That is correct. Well done. And to flip the tables, I would say that your favorite game is Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah, that was easy. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Boom.
that.
Nice.
I've
Boom,
only
boom,
talked
boom.
about it every
Yeah.
other episode since we started 3 years ago.
You like a
But
lot
yeah.
of Dragon Ages, so I had to make sure I picked the right
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Fair.
Not my favorite soundtrack, but yes, my favorite game.
Got it. All right, Bianca, question's going to you next. What is Trent's favorite game?
I'm gonna say The Last of Us.
Great answer.
Oh,
Woo!
nice. Correct.
It would have been great if he's like, great answer. It's the wrong one. But great answer. Phenomenal.
Quality
answer.
choice, but no.
And Trent, what is Bianca's favorite game?
Actually, I don't know.
I don't even remember what I answered.
Okay, well, you should figure that out before I let it guess. Or
got
wait,
you.
or don't, and just agree with whatever I say. This is also a great option.
Oh, okay.
I like it. He's thinking.
No
Look
pressure.
at me like that.
Sorry.
Is it like I'm gonna ask for? Is it like an obvious one?
Ooh.
Considering she had to look it up, I don't know.
Well,
don't know.
because here's the thing: is I don't think I've ever said the words "This is my favorite game."
Right. That's the
Like
problem. I'm
ever
having.
in my
That's
life.
okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
That's
These
fine.
are also a lot of these questions are also just going to be some guesses.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's one that I have talked about quite a bit. I think.
Oh, that's not reassuring.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is already great. I love all of this.
Has it been streamed before?
Yes.
Oh,
Ooh, some hints.
Boom. There you go.
Oh.
It's
Yes,
been
I have.
streamed.
I have streamed it.
Because okay,
Is
well,
there a day of the week the streaming takes place that is based upon this
Oh, he
game?
wouldn't know. He wouldn't know
I
that.
definitely wouldn't know. I mean, the two things that come to mind, and I don't think either of them are the right answer,
Okay.
are Final Fantasy 14 Online or Animal Crossing.
Yeah, no.
I don't think
All
either
right,
of those
all
are
right.
them, though.
No.
So I do not know.
I put Ori and the Blind Forest.
Really? Yeah, I never would have guessed that.
Oh.
I never would have guessed that.
I had to think about it. I did have to think about it because I was like, I'm not sure I know what my favorite game is, but
Yeah.
that's the closest
That's okay.
I think I'd.
Yeah, I never would have guessed.
It's whatever
I know
you were
like
feeling in that
game.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a beautiful game.
Oh, it is.
So I totally see that. Hey, Joe, what's
gonna
Joe's
be really
favorite
difficult.
game? I mean, Joe, what's Brian's favorite game?
Oh, that's so hard.
really difficult, Joe.
Which one of the Final Fantasies is it? Is it this one? Is it that one? Final Fantasy VII?
Boom.
The original or the remake?
The original.
Done.
Theory.
Easy peasy. I don't think a podcast goes by where Brian doesn't mention
Yeah.
True.
Final Fantasy VII.
There's the reason that's where my couple went to was, even
Yeah.
though
I
they're
was
not
gonna
a
say
great
we
example.
opened with that today.
Yeah. So Brian, you get a bit of a boon because Joe listed 4 games.
I know.
Oh my god!
It was one of
As
those.
her
I saw the
favorite.
question. And I was like, it's going to be one of several.
Yeah. And to
I
be
have a
honest,
hard time.
if you
She
get
does.
any of them right, it's a win. It's
Yeah.
a win in my
Technically
book.
I'm gonna go with 3. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna try to get 3 out of
I'm
4.
gonna try to
Okay.
get 3 out of
I love
4.
it. Hard
Extra
mode,
points.
hard
Okay.
mode.
Extra points.
Okay. So you got Miss Pac-Man.
Yes, that is on here.
You got Pokemon Pinball, possibly.
Oh,
but
It's a real
That's
good
a really
one.
good game,
It's so
Joe.
high up there. It's so high up there.
and then Dr. Mario.
Okay, you got 2 out of
I got
3
2 out of
there.
three.
Very
Nice.
nice. Dr. Mario, Mrs. Pac-Man. The other 2 were Mr. Driller and Wind Waker.
Wind Waker. There we go.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
nice.
Zelda
makes
Wind
sense.
Waker.
That makes sense.
I love it. And if anyone wants to keep points, please do so at home. If you're listening, you're like, I want to know who wins. Listen, I'm not.
probably not me.
Anyone
It's
here at
like
the table
guess.
who wants to do that, feel free to go ahead. But we're just going here. Okay, next question. What game have you sunk the most hours into, Trent? What game has Bianca spent the most hours on?
I mean, okay, this one has to be Final Fantasy 14 Online.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Done. Nice.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
Thank God I got one.
And Bianca, what about Trent?
I have 2 possibilities because I know
Okay.
you've done multiple runs of both of them.
Okay.
Both of those possibilities being Kingdom Hearts and The Last of Us. I'm going to put Kingdom Hearts as the top one.
I don't think so.
I'm very sorry, Bianca. He put down Monster Hunter, either Monster Hunter Tri or Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate.
You know, I
As the most
completely
time.
forgot that was a game that existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to like do some like
fair, that's fair.
napkin math to be like, have I played more of Kingdom Hearts or Monster Hunter?
Okay, so I was right that Kingdom Hearts was something he has sunk a
it
lot
was
of time
on.
into.
It was definitely on the
Oh.
list.
That's good. That's good. Hey.
Nice. There we go.
But yeah,
There we
Monster
go.
Hunter I completely forgot existed. So that makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. When you put like 200 hours into it, it's
That's
yeah.
fair. Yep, that makes sense.
I forgot Destiny existed earlier, so we're on the same wavelength. Yeah.
And she herself spent a year and a half playing that.
Yep.
So Brian, what game has Joe spent the most time on?
It should be Dr. Mario.
That's it.
Yeah.
Ding, ding,
Like,
ding.
Considering she plays it about 2 hours every single night for the last about 12 years.
Whoa.
Nice. There it is. And Joe, what about Brian? And this is of all time.
This is all time.
I actually still think it was Final Fantasy VII, but I don't actually know because he plays so
I
many
play a lot of games. This is really
games.
difficult.
And it
Just
could be
guess.
Diablo
Just guess.
3. It could be Final Fantasy 7. It could be Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
It could be. It literally. There's
It is
so,
an MMO. It is an
That
MMO.
doesn't help
I know.
all.
'Cause I play all of them as
He
well.
plays like so many of them, and like a lot of the time, I'm gonna be real. I walk by and I'm like, "Ooh, what's your guy doing now?" And then he explains what it is. Like they all look the same.
They do.
I can't tell. He makes the same character in every game.
Vegas style. You got to put your chip on one number. What number?
I would say it was still Final Fantasy VII, just because he played that every single year, every summer for I don't know,
I
as
did.
long as we've known each other until we moved in together, and even then, you still did it for a few years.
Sure.
So I feel like for 30 plus years, if that's the game you play 70 something hours every single year, that's probably the one that wins.
Brian,
But you probably
what's your
didn't do the
answer?
math on it.
Brian, what's
I
your
did.
answer?
I did do the math on it.
Go on.
Of course you
My,
did.
my answer was Ultima Online.
That
Because I know, because I played that for 3 years straight, for probably about 5 to 6 hours every single day for those 3 years, and then after that, I get into about every other year for probably about another 100 hours. So
Wow.
I do. I did do the math. I did. I did.
It's got Ultimate in the title.
It's got Ultima.
It's got Ultimate. I can't. How do you beat that? You're right.
You can't.
You're right.
Amanda, what game did I have I spent the most time in?
I'm gonna say Overwatch because it's the right answer, but I'm just gonna honorable mention Hearthstone.
Oh,
Man,
I did put
that
some
is
time
good.
in there. That definitely sucked a lot of time out of my life. And for me, I think The Sims overall time.
Oh, I did not put that as my answer, and you're very
Ooh.
right.
Oh, am I? Oh, hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Bonus
yeah,
points right
yeah.
there.
Wait,
Yeah.
what answer did you put?
I thought Elder Scrolls Online because I played that like for years, but
I
no,
was
you're
thinking about that.
Very right. The Sims doesn't even exist in my brain. Like,
It's just a way of life.
That is.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna move on to the next question. We're gonna get a little deeper. Hey, Brian.
Yes.
So what video game genre does Joe describe herself as?
Oh boy,
Yeah,
this is
it's
a
getting
loaded
real. It's
question,
getting real.
sir. It's a loaded question.
That's why we're here.
Oh man, genre of
Yeah.
game that Joe would find herself as. I'm gonna go with puzzle.
Oh, you're right.
oh,
Nice.
Yes, specifically she put puzzle platformer. But I think that is it. That is it. Well done, Brian. Okay, all right. Joe, what Brian described himself as a video game genre. What genre was it?
The base code language that works behind RPGs and MMOs.
Whoa, so a code
He's a robot. It's the code
as the genre.
as the genre. He is the code.
Oh, one of those games that teach you to write code.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
I like that.
Brian's the code.
codes.
No, I think he would be an RPG or JRPG.
Well, Brian answered in true Brian form. A life simulator game,
Like a
Just
Sims
The
like
Sims.
game?
Just like you would just be The Sims.
So you're the code.
Because
You're the
no,
code.
because it's like because you're like, hey, why don't you go do that thing? I'm like, yeah, no problem. And then you look away, and then when you look back at that character, he's doing something else and not doing the thing that you wanted him to do. And then it's like, hey, you want to go to the store? It's like, yeah, sure. I wasn't thinking about that before, but yeah, let's go down. I'm down for it. So like, I'm one of those guys that like, yeah, I'll do that for you, but then I'll also forget about doing it, like sometimes the sim characters do. And then if you like remove a ladder, I might also die in a pool.
Fun fact about Brian, just can't figure it out.
I just can't figure it out.
So Amanda,
Okay.
if I had to think of what genre you would describe yourself as,
Okay.
I would say it would be one of those construction simulator games, like a house project game.
It's exactly what I said. Yeah, it was like one of those like home improvement simulators or one of those where you just pressure clean things for hours. Yeah, that's me.
Troy, we're doing so good at this. We're doing so good at this.
Because that's you in real life,
Yeah. Yeah.
Just look at the closet
Except-
door.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
See?
I didn't even talk about the other stuff I did this week.
So what genre do you think I described myself as?
I'm gonna say an experimental indie game.
Why?
What? Oh, because that's like you.
Yeah.
Like you don't want like this is the way that things done before. You're like, no. What if we just did this?
Yeah, that's true. It's a
Like
good point.
if Dreams was a game, if you were a game, you would be Dreams
Yes.
because you could be every game.
Like a content creator, make your own level. I like your answer way more than what I put. Oh, your answer is way more flattering than what I see myself as. I said I'm a point and click adventure
Okay.
because I don't know. It's just where I am in my life. Yeah, I'm just gonna like meander around and like pick something up and be like,
Look at
huh,
it. Talk to yourself.
what do I do with this? Do I what? I'm supposed to do something, but I don't know what. And then I'm gonna walk to the room and be like, do I put it here? Am I supposed to? Does it go in the fridge? I'm not. What's happening? And then I just get frustrated and look it up online and be like, oh right, that goes over there. Or like sometimes, Meta, when you like buy a new chair or something, and then I walk in, you're like, do you see the new thing? And then I'm literally in a game where I'm just like mentally clicking on everything to try and figure out what's highlighted.
Where's the pixel? Where's the pixel?
Yeah, I think maybe it's just me in my 30s. That's where I am in my life. Huh. So, Bianca, what genre does Trent describe himself as?
I will preface with I gave a really stupid answer.
Well, and I had a really hard time conceptualizing this question.
Sure.
So I don't think my answer is very good for myself. I will preface myself that with don't wink at me.
I love it.
Oh, shit.
I love all the emotions you're feeling right now.
If his answer was dating simulator, I'm going to be very angry. I think you will as well.
Okay, I'm gonna think this is gonna be a dumb answer coming from me.
For sure.
A rhythm game.
Ooh, all right, I can see that.
I did toy
Let's
with
see
that.
where you're going.
Okay.
I toyed with that.
What did you say?
I would like Troy to read my answer.
So Trent would love to see himself as like a lovely, open, abstract, open world game, kind of like a journey, something really beautiful and open like that. But what he feels he really is like an angsty 2010s Souls-like game.
Oh my god. That's so
I think my
accurate,
exact Souls-like thing was I think I'm a late 2010 Souls-like because I'm angsty and way more basic than I think I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dang. Yeah.
That is a very specific genre. That is
I
very
feel like
specific.
Trent,
I
out of
had to get
everyone so far,
specific.
really knows himself.
Yeah. I felt like the only way I could conceptualize it is if I got way too specific. I think I even specifically said that game company game. Which is the people who made Journey, because I was like, one of those.
Yeah.
And if Bianca is not a management game, I don't know what she is.
Oh.
F. Again, that's like, I forgot that existed because
Right.
it also doesn't help that I just in general have trouble with like abstract concepts like this. So I was like,
Sure.
how would a genre even describe me? I don't know. You're right. You're 100% right. My answer is
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well done. Here we go. You can ship one gaming character. Who is it? That is the question that was posed to you all. Amanda, I'm gonna start with us. Who do you think I would, maybe go on a date with?
Okay, I'm gonna say her name wrong because it's been a little while.
Yeah.
But the blue chick from Mass Effect, Liara.
Liara.
You were ride or die with Liara.
I was.
She wasn't
You're
in
not
Mass
wrong.
Effect 2, and then she was in Mass Effect 3, and I
Yeah.
was like, well, which lady are you going to be with? And he was like, what other lady? There was only Liara.
You're right. Like there was an emotional, like we journeyed 3 games long.
Yeah.
I was heartbroken when she kind of broke up with me in the second game.
Oh.
Or like we separated. We it was a thing. Don't worry about it. It was mutual. It was mutual. All right. It was fine. It's fine. I did not put that as my answer though.
Okay, what did you
I
say?
didn't. Because that was before Yennefer of Vengerberg.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Yennefer's great.
Yeah.
It's a great choice.
I like magic.
And I gotta say, I look more like Yennefer, so I'll take
You got
that
the
as a
hair.
compliment.
You
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
hair. And yeah. And it kind of keep in the same vein. For you, I thought it might be Geralt of Rivia.
Oh no, there's only one right answer.
I only thought Geralt of Okay. I am so sorry. So I thought Geralt of Rivia because back when the Witcher Netflix series came out, we were talking about Henry Cavill and we were just like, yo, that guy's a snack.
Yeah.
And you were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'll take video game Geralt over that.
I will. I
I was
stand by
like,
that opinion. Yeah.
Okay, take that, Henry Cavill. Like, that guy needs to be knocked down a peg.
He still can't, but you could try.
And I was like, well, if there's someone you would take over Henry, then it's got to be OG Geralt. But who did you answer?
Okay, so Solus from Dragon Age.
Oh, yeah.
Because he
He's
broke my heart.
complicated.
I will never be okay with that.
Yeah. He's a real one.
Is he a little bit broken because I have a problem? Yep, that's my type.
Hi, my name's Troy.
I wasn't talking about you.
No, it's in a good way. All right. So Brian, I absolutely love Joe's answer for this. So if you could please answer, who do you think? No caveats, Joe. No caveats. She's like ready to contextualize. And no help. Who did Joe put down as an answer?
Who did Joe put down as an answer?
She's like
Who do you
about to
think?
She's
explode
dying.
with nonsense.
I'm going to go with Marshall from Animal Crossing.
Ooh, Marshall. And why Marshall?
why not Marshall?
Okay, fair enough. I stand corrected.
Which one
I
is
stand corrected.
Marshall?
First off, I want to point out something.
Okay.
It would be Static, who is my true love in Animal
know.
Crossing. Marshall is my second love.
I know.
Fair.
First,
Fair.
and secondly, I need to point out that I absolutely didn't understand the question.
Neither did I.
Oh,
So
I apologize.
No, because I didn't think about myself and who I would ship myself with. So my answer was characters that I wanted shipped together. That's why I wanted the caveat for you, because I wrote the two guys
Hey,
from
Joe.
A Way Out.
Yes.
Because I was really excited
Joe.
for the two of them to be together.
You don't understand how happy I was when I asked, if you could ship one character, and you were like Vincent and Leo from A Way Out. I was like,
Damn.
get it, Joe.
My answer is also going to be amazing then.
Now I was also excited because Brian also picked two people.
Because I had the same thing.
I was like, yo, you two? I am all for whatever
But
is
now
going
that I
on.
understand the question, my answers probably still wouldn't be wrong.
I still think all of this applies. But Joe, now you know that there are two.
There are two.
Yes.
It's Tifa and Aerith.
Close.
You were close. You got one of
Tifa
them
and
right.
Jesse.
So
Nope.
close.
You're close. I picked Tifa for the punches, Chun-Li for the kicks.
Chun-Li.
Chun-Li's so great.
And actually, I think they would make a great couple, but if it would still apply if it's to me. It's
I
fine.
like it. I like it.
And the thruple.
Good options.
You are
Good
always
options.
protected.
I am. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't ever have to worry about my life ever again.
Or you really have to worry about your life.
I mean, I do have to watch what I say a lot of the times.
Oh yeah. You're not getting out. You're not getting away. Yeah.
There is no a way out.
So Bianca, who do you think Trent would ship?
I think
In
Kaden
gaming.
from Mass Effect.
I mean, Caden
That's
is
a good relationship.
just delectable snack. But no,
Yes.
I mean, she's already come up. I said my girl Penny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because the feelings were real. I mean,
Okay.
They were.
it got
yeah,
real.
That's
It got
true.
real.
That's true.
I love that.
I was blinded by the Kaden infatuation of late.
Like I said, top tier snack for sure.
I hear that. I feel that. I also kind of I feel bad a little bit, Trent, because Caden I did sacrifice him when it came to that choice.
Oh,
Right? Because
So-
you could choose him or someone else to kind of leave
Yeah, it's
behind in
her
that
or
case.
racist girl. So first of all, I'm offended that you chose to say racist girl. Second of
Yeah,
all,
that's true.
I forgot exactly how that sequence went when I replayed it recently, and oh boy, my butt was so clenched for that entire time because I was like, if you hurt my boy Caden, I'm gonna throw hands. I was ready to defend.
It's funny because on my latest playthrough of Mass Effect, I was going to choose the girl to save.
Why would
because
you?
I chose Caden before, and then as I was going through the game, I was like, oh, I forgot how awful she is.
I know.
She's gotta go. She's gotta go. I planned this out. I did all the right choices for her, but no, she's gotta go.
Correct choice.
It is.
I did regret. I did regret my decision. You are right. You're right. I chose wrong in Mass Effect. Trent, who did Bianca pick? What gaming
Is it
character?
like a weird thing?
I don't think it's weird, and I do think you could get it.
Okay, like so I have two lines of thought.
Okay.
Line
right.
number thought. What? Maybe.
I love that. That is a new phrase.
Line number thought.
Line of thought
That is
number
amazing.
one is she was feeling a little thirsty and was thinking about your boy Geralt. That crossed my mind.
Okay.
Okay.
More likely, I think would be, it's like a coin toss. I was thinking Stardew. I was thinking Sebastian because I know she really likes Sebastian.
Sebastian is a good choice as well.
I don't even know,
Whoa.
but she also really likes Harvey.
Okay.
She's giving me
Any
a
final
look.
answers?
So I'm gonna say Harvey from Stardew.
Ding, ding, ding! Yes!
You guys were both feeling that valley.
We were.
I was so happy when I saw you guys both pick characters from the same game. I was like, that's the cutest. And you all play Stardew Valley together, and I like the idea. Or maybe you did, or sometimes.
We did, yeah.
We didn't get very far into the romance.
I
Okay.
thought we were just going to romance each other.
I think that was the plan, but we
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
get
yeah.
far enough to do that.
No,
But then
not
Harvey
yet.
and Penny showed up, and you were like, I don't know, let's take our time. Let's do
I know
something
we
else.
bought this farm together, but like,
just made it a
All right.
commune, you know?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
All right, I got 2 more questions before we wrap up this podcast. So let's jump on in. What game has gotten you in your feels the most? Bianca, what did Trent answer?
Probably The Last of Us.
Yeah, great call. Great call.
Done.
Yeah.
Done. Amazing.
Yeah.
And Trent, what do you think Bianca answered?
The only one that comes to mind, because this would have happened like less than a month ago, would be Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Nice.
Got it.
Yes?
Got
Okay,
it.
excellent.
Got
Excellent.
it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Very nicely done. Very great games. Brian, what game got Joe in the feels?
Joe in the fields. Well, she doesn't have any, so this is hard.
It is actually. It is.
That's my final answer. But
It's a good answer. I had to think really hard for this.
I'm gonna go with It Takes Two.
Oh, you know what? That really bothered me. You're right. But
Okay.
no.
oh, the
Was it?
elephant.
Yeah, the elephant. yeah.
part of it, we almost stopped playing. If it wasn't for streaming, we would have stopped playing.
Yeah, I see.
What was it?
It was Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah.
I actually cried.
That's
when,
right.
When
That's right.
it went down.
When it went down.
I was-
spoiler alert. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I was. Well, it depends.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
point. That's a good point.
But yeah, I actually got upset. I was on stream and I was like, I
Yep.
think there are tears coming in. Is
That's
that
right.
what feelings feel like?
You're
very right.
I lived Joe going through that moment on stream live, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is real. This is good content."
Yeah, you tuned in specifically for that as well, because you knew it was coming up.
I stayed around
I was not
to see
okay.
Joe tear
It was
up.
That's right. You're 1,000% right. Wow. Yeah, I got that one. I got that one wrong. That was
That's
on me.
okay. That's all right. We're learning. Joe, what is Brian's in the feels game? What got him emotional?
Well, if you think I don't have feelings, I mean, try and play a game with a robot.
She's also not wrong.
We for the record, we have an ongoing joke that we think Brian is actually a robot.
He is a robot.
The way there's certain things, and we can talk in front of him. He's going to deny it.
I
but
will.
We got a sneaking suspicion. Well, yeah.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
Talks a lot about numbers
I
sometimes.
don't know what you're
I
talking
don't know.
about.
I actually have no idea. I can't. I always want to go
I
back to
remember him talking about this on the podcast when this game came out. Me and him both got in the feels over this game.
What were you gonna say?
I always default to a Final Fantasy game of
Okay.
some sort. I just can't imagine it really being Final Fantasy VII, the remake.
Oh my gosh, that's it.
That is what it is.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
It was purely for nostalgia sake.
Yeah, I know, because
Yeah.
you were like tearing up next to me, but I didn't
Yeah.
think that was like actual feels. I was like, oh, look, the robot needs to be oiled. its gears are jamming up a bit. Here, I'll help you out. I got some WD-40.
It was with nostalgia. It was jamming up with nostalgia. I couldn't believe this game was coming out. And also, I had already watched that sequence before, and it was still making it happen. So yes, it was Final
Right.
Fantasy VII the remake. Nicely done, Joe.
And so, Amanda, for me, I think the game that got you in the fields was Dragon Age Origins. And I say that because
right.
there's a moment towards the end that you describe where you made some decisions and they did not go in your favor. And you were like,
I can't.
Dunskies.
Okay, I can't. I'm going to tell this story again because it broke my heart. But which apparently is a theme with these games. But I was in a scene and there was a guy that I had been romancing the whole game, and he was really sweet, and he was like sensitive, and he only really cared about you, and it was like lovely, and we were together. And he had talked the entire game about how he didn't want to be king. And we were in the throne room, and they were like, "Well, you need to back up someone as king." And they were like, "There's this guy who's been trained to do this, and he's kind of an ass. But he wants to be king." And I was like, "Oh, Joe doesn't want to be king, so obviously I'll back." And the game did not want me to do that. And then there was just this person that I had emotionally invested 40 hours into, turned around and said, "Of anyone, I thought you would believe in me." And I turned the game off, and I went away, and I couldn't come back until I had like processed that moment of having absolutely betrayed someone.
Of which is an imaginary character.
Yeah, not real. Not real. Oh gosh.
All right, I think it's safe. Bianca. She was anti-spoilering
okay?
herself because she's playing Dragon Age right
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry.
It's like I took my headphones off.
She's
so
good.
I was
You're in the clear. You're in the
Dragon
clear.
Age Origins, no spoilers.
Yeah, she was mostly vague
Yeah,
about
But I
it.
was like, I'll let
The
you have
odds
this.
of
It's
you
fine.
getting that specific situation are
Yeah.
slim, and I hope it never happens to you.
Oh man,
chokes back tears
Bianca's
again.
gonna be playing now, double guessing every one of her decisions. Is this what happened? Amanda, what game has got me in the feels the most?
Okay, I would like to point out this is a very unfair question because you only play sad games.
I know.
Yeah.
Good luck.
But to my advantage, we talked about this recently, and I think that you're legally obligated to say
Yeah.
that Dragon Cancer.
Yeah, that's the saddest game I've ever played in my entire life. I can't even talk about that for more than 30 seconds without getting a little choked up.
That's true.
Which, if you haven't played it, look it up. I'm not going to talk about it now because I will honestly be crying. But look it up. It's a brilliant show of what video games can be. Display of what video games can be.
That's right.
And with that, y'all, let's move on to our final question of the night.
It's the final question.
It's also saxophone in my brain.
It is, yeah.
Okay, the question was, what's the most common reaction, verbal, physical, or both, you make when a game frustrates the freaking crap out of you? All right, we are going to start with Brian.
Oh.
What does Joe do when a game frustrates the freaking crap
This should
out
be
of her?
fairly easy.
She does a little curse to herself and then throws the controller.
Done. Oh my gosh, that is verbatim what she wrote.
Amazing.
I love it.
It's almost like a whisper curse, but you can still hear it. But it's definitely just a little, and then a throwing of the controller. Usually to a soft surface. Not always.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I try not to get mad while playing video games. I usually have to say, someone take the control out of my hands. Take it away from me. Take it away from me right now. I can't do this anymore.
And Joe, what did Brian put for his answer?
Brian just gets quiet. He doesn't really say. He just come on. If I ever see him get
Classic
mad in a
robot
game,
response.
It doesn't really happen. Come on. It's not. There's not really Brian doesn't get mad.
Come on. So the greatest thing about Brian's answer, he's just like, you know what? Joe will know because I don't.
I don't know.
He doesn't really get mad.
I really don't know. It's one of those I don't.
You had 100%. We're going to get this question correct.
Yeah, because it really was like, I don't know how I react. I know I do react sometimes, but I don't know what it
does
is.
not happen often.
Yeah.
The few times I've seen you get mad at the game, and it was normally because of, it wasn't even the game itself. It was some outer force was causing some problem with the game. Like when playing Destiny, if the internet was getting weird or something, I'm just like, come on, just walk away.
Bianca, what does Trent do when angry at a game?
It kind of depends on the situation.
Sure.
Usually it involves yelling very loudly. Expletives are thrown around.
Sure.
Frequently. I would say his choice phrases, but I will not. Also, there's a lot of "this is impossible" is thrown around, or sometimes there and this is our walls aren't the most soundproof things in the world. So there have been times where I'm listening back to a Twitch stream and I can hear him yelling over my mic picked it up from the other room because you just hear me I'm just oh, okay, something's happening over there. Yeah, that's usually, he yells a lot.
Yeah, I'm a big yeller.
Yeah, you know what? Yep. Trent wrote, I am 100% a yeller.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Trent, what does Bianca do?
I feel like usually, unless we've reached pinnacle levels of frustration, I think Bianca mostly seethes.
Get a good seethe going on.
She gets really mad and kind of also quiet, but one of two things happens. Either she keeps going and gets angrier, or she quits and then never picks up the game again. That also does happen.
I'm gonna ask you if you can think of any choice phrases. She
I
might
gave
say while
three
this is
options
happening.
of phrases as my answer. But you are right. I do seethe and just turn off.
Yes.
I try my best to walk away from the game. If I'm recognizing it, I try my best to walk away. But
That is some good advice.
That is.
Well done.
doesn't always happen. Especially when I'm streaming, I'm like, well, shoot, I got to do this, I guess. And then I just keep getting more mad. So, but yeah, if I were to.
Okay, it's content. It's content. It's fine. This is content.
But yeah, if I were to.
I don't know. Because, like, the most angry I've ever heard you is when you're streaming in the other room, but I only hear you through the walls, and I can't quite distinguish.
That's fair.
So I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I really liked the phrases that Bianca put down. There's 3. The first is, I hate this.
Oh,
The second-
yeah. Classic.
Classic.
hate
Classic. The second is, this is ass.
Yeah. Actually, no, never mind. I do know these. Yeah.
The greatest hits are coming back.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Heard that.
And the third is, why?
Yeah.
I do that less,
Those
so it's
check out.
mostly this is ass and I hate this, or like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. No, absolutely correct.
And then
Yeah.
this,
I love it.
This is when you go through your your album collection and you find your copy of Now That's What I Call Bianca. And you're like, oh, you're right, that was on this
All the greatest
one.
hits.
Man, my bad.
Yep. My hit single, This Is Ass.
Yeah.
I could see that being a 1 song right now. I'm just saying.
It probably is. It probably is.
Are the S's dollar signs?
Yes.
Yes.
100%. Manda, what would you say for me? What do I say or do when I'm like frustrated at a game?
I'm going to kind of lean into everybody. You don't really get frustrated with video games, generally speaking, or at least like you're maybe not outwardly frustrated.
Okay.
I think the most frustrated I've ever seen you is when you're playing with other people in video games.
Yeah.
And usually it's you trying to empathize and de-escalate the situation, which is the most Troy thing I can think of. It's like gosh, you guys should be drinking more, and it's like, actually, in defense, like, what we should both talk about. Are you sure this is what you really mean when you say like? We should both be
Amazing.
patient here.
Listen, Lil, let's have a chat. I just like Danny Tanner. Just like sit and have like a
Sit
sitcom
down.
dad moment.
So when he gets angry, he diffuses the situation.
You put Torbjorn on one knee and Symmetra on the other knee, and you're like, all right, guys.
I think if I have time, that would be like how I resolve a situation.
Right.
But I think when I'm like at pinnacle, like I have my limit, whether it is in a game where I just don't, like, I either am losing in a game or in Overwatch where I get like murked and I just didn't see it coming or something. I'm pretty big into saying, oh, F off. just
I have heard you say that. You're right.
F off. And we're trying to be a PG-13 so we can fill in the blank.
Sure.
But I can't deliver how I really feel when I say it. I also watch a lot of Succession, which is like their catchphrase. If you watch HBO Succession, it's ingrained in me. And I find I did notice that sometimes I also do like a face wipe, or I just take my hand and just like clear off the frustration in that moment. I don't know why, but yeah, a good F off and a defeated face wipe is my go-to. And Amanda, what I think you do, or at least in moments, and I find it really amusing, I really like it, is if a game is frustrating you, it's kind of like an escalation, and I want you all to supplement the word with sh, but I'm gonna use crap. All right, so just theater of the mind. Okay, I feel like you start like with a low like crap, and then it builds to one big like crap, just one huge just crap, and then there's a little bit of silence, and then you say, "Cool game, real cool."
like she's come to accept the situation. It's just
like
cool.
sardonic,
This is just how it is.
Cool game.
cool.
Real cool.
Yeah, I either yell at the character or I yell at the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And exactly.
That's it?
Yeah. The thing I wrote down. Yours is better, but the thing I wrote down was, "Damn it, Eivor!"
Oh yeah. Just so angry. Eivor, the character from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, who never does what you want. to
Always
do.
jumping sideways for no reason. Climb up this tower sideways.
Oh, y'all. I know that went a little bit long, but
did.
I am
It's great.
so happy that we went through. I even cut like 4 or 5 questions out of
You
that.
did.
But I loved learning about what about each other and how we all work in relationships and what we can pick up. This is fun. So thank you all for coming and being a part of this first couples Quizinator here on Taste of Dragons. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, and if you have any answers that you would like to share with us about any of these questions, let us know in the Discord. We would love to hear if you guys have any specific answers that you find that you do, or maybe your significant other does. That would be pretty great.
Hell yeah.
Drop it in the podcast discussion inside the Discord. But unfortunately, though, that will bring us to the end of this week's episode. Wow. But we have our guests here, y'all, and we would love to send them off properly, right? So where can we find you guys on I Forgot I Own That podcast?
We are on Twitter and Instagram at IFIOT Podcast. The Instagram is slightly more hopping than the Twitter.
Sure.
We have a Discord as well, and on our socials there's like the link tree, so you can get to our Discord through there.
Yeah.
Or if you check out our podcast, we put the link to the Discord in the description.
We sure do.
And then I stream on Twitch at I Forgot I Own That. 3 days a week.
And we release a podcast
And
together.
that's the whole reason we're here, is because we also have a podcast. You take it
called
away.
I Forgot I Own That. The name of the podcast. Is I Forgot I Own That. It is a podcast where we play games that we own but never played. It turns out we have a lot of those because we are now 50 episodes in, and there is no
Yay,
end.
congrats.
That's 100 games.
It's a great point. Yeah,
Because we do
Yeah.
2 an episode.
we sure do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, that's what we do. We episodes go up every other Monday, wherever you find your podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all, you at home, if you haven't, go subscribe to I Forgot I Own That Pod. They are a delightful podcast every other week. Just insightful, funny, good perspectives on video games, and like, you all are just like so relatable. It's so damn relatable. I love it. Just genuine good peeps. Go check them out on there, on Twitch, and everywhere else you find them. And also your band. Amanda and I got to listen to Cloud Houses.
Ooh, we did.
Cloud Houses. Yeah. Go check them out. They are verified on Spotify, y'all. You can get the EP there. And just a good indie pop. To be honest, I got a little bit of like the Smith vibes with some of the songs that I heard that I was really digging. So go check them out all over. You guys are super talented, and we can't thank you enough for coming and being on this special episode.
Thank you so much
thank
for
you
having
guys.
us.
No, thank you guys for being here. And then you can always find us online.
Are you looking for more Taste of Dragons content? Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, or Twitch for more discussions, more video games, and most of all, more sandwiches. Although we had no sandwiches today, so no guarantees. We are at Taste of Dragons everywhere, and we'd love to hear from you.
That's right. So on behalf of our guests, Bianca and Trent, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
The Taste of Dragons.
Have a great week, everyone.
Happy bells
That's
to all
right.
of you.
Everyone.
All of you out there. You can heart everyone.
Buy your own candy.
You all getting candy over there?
Sale candy, maybe?
That tends to be our plan.
Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast, a podcast for everyone's taste.